Continuing from the previous episode 2715. The situation gradually fell into an extremely tense situation. Xiaoyan's expression was a little solemn, and the holy flame in the body burned again. The huge and sacred power easily poured into the heavenly realm, and the mirror surface changed. This time it appeared impressively. The picture of heaven. Skyline? Seeing such a situation, Xiaoyan's heart trembled slightly. The heaven realm now has Chang'e crowned Sha Yuexi in charge, and the latter's half-step eightfold reincarnation ranked terrifying strength, even in the face of the attack of some powerhouses outside the realm. I am afraid it is still possible. 1 or 2 rounds. I'm afraid it is precisely because of the existence of Yuexi that among the forces sent to attack the heavenly realm from outside the territory, there are 2 great royal families and 1 great saint. According to the latest news, the weakest among the strong saints also possesses the strength of half a step and 8 layers. The King of Swallowing Spirit and the Lord of the Sword Domain looked at each other and couldn't help but say. Apparently, the 2 of them happened to meet Zuner on the way to support the Phoenix clan. After some inquiries, they also knew a lot about the current situation. The picture is very strange. In the heavenly realm, 9 Tianshan mountains stand majestically, among them, ancient trees towering to the sky, strange stones appear endlessly, and even scenes of illusions lingering in the Tianshan mountains are rare in the world. Above the 9 Tianshan mountains is the Moon God Palace, the Flower God Palace and other superpowers of the heavenly realms. Variety. At this time, countless human beings living under the shroud of the 9 Tianshan mountains raised their heads in panic, only to see the originally peaceful peak of the Tianshan mountains. At this time, bundles of extremely dark evil energy were continuously attacking and eroding this area. World. It seems that there is some kind of evil and evil aura that is nibbling away at the world above the Tianshan mountains. The sense of sadness and oppression swept down from the Tianshan mountains, making the entire heavenly world feel uncomfortable. At this time, Yun Yun and the others came to the foot of one of the Tianshan mountains and looked up at the endless top of the Tianshan mountains. It seemed that at the far end, there were so many people who were cold all over their bodies, with icy eyes, and their bodies were like 10,000 years of ice. Evil shadows that are generally cold in the caves stand. On the opposite side of these evil forces, it seems that there are several single figures standing side by side, some with white hair like snow, some with long hair sloping like a waterfall. The breeze is blowing, but their pupils are icy cold. There is no point mood swings, very indifferent. Mother. The 9 Tianshan mountains seem to be strongly imprisoned by some strong people. If you use ordinary means, it is difficult to break through this restriction and enter them. Among the elite powerhouses behind Yun Yun, many figures spoke. 2 royal clans, 1 great saint clan. Let's go. Having said that, Yun Yun's soft and beautiful eyes were suddenly filled with endless killing intent, and the energy petals surging around her body were surging at will, and it turned out to be a disturbing and terrifying fluctuation. Yun Yun led a group of troops to support the heavenly realm. After all, the latter's strength has been completely stabilized at the 7th layer reincarnation level. In conjunction with the many means on his body, his strength and combat effectiveness have soared to an unprecedented level, so he did not bring too many elites. There is only 1 5-layer reincarnation rank and some guards in the lower reaches of reincarnation. Above the Tianshan mountains, there is now a rather tragic massacre going on. Among the heavens, the most mysterious Tianshan forbidden area. This is a lawless land abandoned by the fairy world, and it is desolate everywhere. It is rumored that no one can leave alive from here. Because this is a forbidden place, a place of death. Flesh and asterisk creatures cannot survive in this place for a long time. Once they stay for too long, even if they are strong to the 7th layer reincarnation level, they will be completely swallowed up. Even many strong people like today's world can't stand the erosion of forbidden forces. All strong people need to be avoided. Yuexi, tell us the relevant information about the road to the God's mansion. Otherwise, these creatures under your shelter will not be able to escape the sanctions of this forbidden land. In the forbidden area, groups of dark energy were like ropes, binding the bodies of many beautiful women to the same place, but outside the forbidden area, there were 2 evil men sneering. Boundary Master, this is absolutely impossible. King Shura scolded him angrily. Even though the dark ropes around his body were constantly swallowing up the latter's life, there was not a trace of fear in his pupils, and he saw that he and the heavens coexisted and died. Teacher, Yu Ru, who was on the side, bit her silver teeth slightly, and the moon god's sword hummed incessantly behind her. However, no matter how the latter communicated with the moon god mark in her body, she still couldn't get an accurate answer. It seemed that something was missing. The lady of Yaoqi, Yao Ling, Yao Wuchen and others on the side were also full of anger, and they were quite righteous. At the moment when everyone hesitated, there was another woman and a few waves of good breath in this world. The head of the crowd was a woman, with bright eyes and white teeth, and a slender neck and neck. The whole person was as stunning as a hibiscus. The latter is dressed in white, walking in lotus steps in the void, and his words and deeds are extraordinary, just like a beautiful fairy who only exists in the picture scroll, which makes people linger. Yun? Seeing this sudden appearance, Yueru was shocked. It's just that when I see the latter now, both strength and posture have undergone great changes. Even when both eyes are watching Yun, the imprint of the moon god in the body that has been in a quiet state, suddenly there was a slight surging. One of the four mistresses of the endless fire territory. Yun? At this moment, the eyes of several strong men on the edge of the forbidden area became slightly cold, and they watched Yun with some vigilance. The powers of Yun and Kalin are probably the most elusive among the four mistresses, and the strength of their two kings is only on the 7th level of reincarnation and the pinnacle. King of the Holy Spirit. What do you think? Immediately, the two figures looked at the dry land in the forbidden area, and then a humble voice came out. Giggle. Is there finally a guy who can watch? As the voices of the two evil kings fell in the originally dry land, there was a strange voice that emerged. The monstrous black energy surged, and immediately turned into a human appearance in front of everyone. This is also a woman, with a graceful and unparalleled body, but her whole body is full of cold killing intent. Even if Yun sees it, the pressure will increase greatly. The young woman's killing intent was awe-inspiring. As soon as she appeared, she controlled everything in this world like a master. She walked towards Yun calmly, as if a majestic mountain pressed against Yun, as if she wanted to smash it to pieces. Is it a strong saint? Looking at such a tricky situation, Yun's heart instantly became tense. There are only more than a dozen saints outside the territory, and this one, even if the ranking is close to the bottom, the genuine 8-fold reincarnation rank strength is enough to make him take it seriously. This girl, has she already mastered that kind of power from the flower elf? Although some figures in the heavens knew about Yun's outstanding achievements during the Battle of Endless Fire Territory at the beginning, but looking at it now, it is still shocking. At this moment, Chang'e, who was bound in the forbidden area, crowned Yuexi, and her heart was also touched. Yun's control over the imprint of the flower *** is justified, but why did Yueru get the imprint of the moon god? Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2716. The situation that was originally destroyed was turned around because of Yun and others. Tear. Yun's face was icy cold, her jade hand held the Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor's sword and waved it gently. A sword beam containing a sacred aura flashed across in an instant, leaving an indelible and terrifying aura in the void. Immediately, the black air rope that bound everyone below was easily disintegrated and shattered. For a time, many high-level leaders in the heavens also regained their freedom in an instant, but the power in their bodies fluctuated more or less, and it was obvious that they were swallowed up by the power of the Forbidden Land. Fight, resulting in them being bound by the enemy here. Some medicinal pills of the 8th rank Holy Rank can temporarily restore 50% of the power of reincarnation. Senior Yuexi, what is going on in the current situation? After doing all this, Yun asked Yuexi while being alert to the movements of the Holy Spirit King and the two evil kings in the distance. With Yuexi's half-step 8-fold reincarnation level strength and the strength of many high-level powerhouses in the heavens, it is impossible to fall into the opponent's hands so easily. There are probably some unknown secrets in it. Thanks. Numerous high-level executives took the medicine pill in Yun's hand and closed their eyes to adjust their breath. They also knew that there was a fierce battle waiting for them. Boom! With the arrival of Yun's reinforcements, the celestial army entrenched in the rear also noticed the movement from the forbidden area, moved mightily, and suddenly walked towards the forbidden area. In the original battle, the two armies did not break out any aftermath of the battle, because the upper levels of the heavenly realm were secretly infiltrated by the two powerful kings and saints, arrested, and then imprisoned in the forbidden area. And know the information in it. The huge number of the celestial coalition forces are numerous, and they form one after another towering airwaves, which makes people feel slightly relaxed. The army is pressing down. Yun Yun, Chang'e and Yuexi are entrenched outside the forbidden area, looking at the three evil kings and the evil army entrenched in the endless black hole behind them. Their faces are serious. And it is strange to say that the Holy Spirit King has just emerged from the Forbidden Land and returned to the two evil powerhouses. It seems that he has no fear of Yun Yun's arrival and the large number of coalition forces behind him. Her power has already reached the 8th level of reincarnation, and it is natural to laugh at these creatures who have not even reached the 7th level of reincarnation. The Holy Flame, the Divine Weapon, and the spirits of the two divine tools dormant in the Divine Sword surrounded Yun Yun, who just turned around and asked to Her Majesty Chang'e, Yueru and the others. However, the two little fellows of the Spirit of Divine Artifacts who followed this trip have now reached the peak of the 6th level reincarnation, and they can join forces to deal with a 7th level reincarnation powerhouse. Yueru and Chang'e Mianxia Yuexi looked at each other, and after getting the latter's nod, they told the truth about what had just happened. At the time of the catastrophe, although the heavenly realm was well prepared, the three strong men sneaked into the bedroom secretly. With the cooperation of the three, the defenses of the heavenly realm were useless. A few days ago, the three of them sneaked here and instantly bound all the high-level heavenly realms. But after the shackles took control of the entire high-level heaven, the Holy Spirit King did not issue any killing orders, but entered the forbidden area alone, trying to pursue those supreme ways. Three kings easily defeated you? The Celestial Alliance has never suffered any losses, which is a fortune among misfortunes. Yun Yun heard the words and took a heavy sigh of relief. Fortunately, there is not much damage to the heaven, otherwise she would be restless. After all, this is another home for her to some extent. If the two armies go to war, it will inevitably lead to a chaotic killing situation, which would be too boring. Why don't we raise a little bet? After a while, looking at the fierce and furious eyes of the allied army in the heavens and the crowd, the Holy Spirit King's face was lazy, as if he had no fear. I don't know what the bet is. After thinking for a moment, Yun Yun and Yuexi looked at each other and said in a silent tone, once the two sides start a complete war, the heavens will suffer more or less. Now that the Holy Spirit King took the initiative to mention it, they are also happy to do so. You only have one chance. If you can obliterate me before it condenses, this world will be spared. Otherwise, even with your self-destruction, you will not be able to protect this world. After all, this kind of power is a terrifying existence that surpasses demigods and is almost quasi-divine. The Holy Spirit King smiled and looked at the people below, as if there was some inexplicable conspiracy in his heart. And just after the latter's voice was finished, the palm of his hand was slowly raised, and a delicate and small black plant emerged. The black plant is like a black plant the size of an arm. There is a strong evil current at the root and stem. At the core, there is a black seed like a flower bud that slowly shakes, which unexpectedly releases a terrible horror that makes the world tremble. Fluctuation. With the emergence of evil black plants, many high-level heavenly realms felt a chill in their hearts. After careful sensing, it is not difficult to find out. The Holy Spirit King is right at all. If such terrifying things are condensed, I am afraid that the entire heavenly realm will face a very difficult situation of destruction. The two evil kings will be handed over to us. Although we are very weak now, but with the help of the medicinal pill, it will not be a problem to entangle them for the time being. But this Holy Spirit King is not only powerful, but even her own. The strength is somewhat strange. We were fighting before, and before we discovered the attack method of the latter, all of them fell into her hands. Be careful. As soon as the words fell, with the addition of the reinforcements from the endless fire territory, Yuexi took the lead and completely fought with the two evil kings, and the situation seemed to be deadlocked for a while. On the other hand, looking at the Holy Spirit King and Yun Yun, the bodies of the two women were slowly stagnant in the air, as if they were waiting for something. Yun Yun was waiting for the Holy Spirit King to make a move, taking advantage of the gap between the two of them to completely obliterate this evil plant. The Holy Spirit King is also waiting, Her purpose is naturally the imprint of the flower *** on Yueru and Yunyun, the imprint of the moon god. Although she didn't get away to step into the god of war when she entered the forbidden area, her intuition told her that as long as she got these 2 marks, she could pursue the path of the god of war. Let me ask, between ruling and conquering a mere celestial world, and finding a way to enter the Do God, stepping into the supreme realm of Do God, and conquering the sky, it is obviously the latter that is more attractive. Let's do it. After a stalemate for a moment, Yunyun's lips curled into a sharp arc, and the sacred flame and the power of reincarnation surged around her body. No matter how powerful the latter is, today's battle is indispensable. Humph! Facing Yunyun's sharp attack, the Holy Spirit King also burst out laughing. The powerhouses of the 2 sides fought together completely, and the whole world seemed chaotic, and the scorching energy flew out everywhere. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2717. Boom! The battle between the 2 sides was extremely fierce, and the battle between Yunyun and the Holy Spirit King was especially fierce. The Holy Spirit King's body is extremely soft, and his speed is very agile. No matter what kind of terrifying attack Yunyun unleashed, he was easily evaded by the latter by twisting his waist, and the battle between the 2 fell into a stalemate for a while. On the contrary, the black plant in the latter's hands slowly left the latter's control, entrenched in the void, releasing waves of black gas light all over his body, like a greedy evil, constantly swallowing the energy between heaven and earth, filled with itself. A terrifying tactile sensation that makes the scalp numb, quietly emerges between this piece of heaven and earth, making the whole world fill with a sense of awe. Above the plant, the black seed is like an extremely evil heart, beating slightly and slowly growing. It can't go on like this. After some fights, Yunyun also noticed that the latter was deliberately delaying time, and immediately snorted. In an instant, the bodies of the 2 little guys, Tianlong, Difeng, swayed, and instantly turned into 2 bright beams of light that penetrated into the body of the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword. The harsh sound of Long Yin and Feng Ming resounded throughout the world. Yunyun gently raised the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword, the blade was raised above her head, and the corners of her lips chanted an incomparably powerful ancient incantation, mobilizing the ancient power of the exclusive Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword. The imprint of the flower ** began to twist, and a trace of pure white flowers appeared around Yunyun out of thin air, surrounded him. At this time, the latter was as beautiful as a flower fairy. In the next moment, countless energy flowers easily poured in towards the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword, and the pure white flames quietly adhered to the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword. Taiji Heavenly Emperor, behead! The cold and ruthless voice, accompanied by a sword shadow of 10,000 feet, leaned down out of thin air. In an instant, the whole world shook completely, and the sound of shattering was very harsh. Plop plop! Feeling Yunyun's strongest attack with all her strength, the hearts of many high-level celestial realms who were in a hard fight at the back felt a chill. What kind of destructive power is this? Its power is probably beyond the category of demigods, or even more than that. Holy Spirit King, the 2 evil powerhouses and the evil army at the rear, looking at such a vast sacred sword shadow, couldn't help calling out to the sky. Sure enough, facing such a terrifying offensive, the Holy Spirit King laughed slightly, and immediately stretched out his hand to completely crush the half-finished black seeds. Crack! The black seeds were crushed by it, and a terrifying energy ripple that shook the 9 days swept out like a tide. The earth shook, and the originally flat and smooth ground collapsed like pieces of falling rocks. In the gap between the collapse of the earth, a barren black air current emerged. Anyone who was invaded by it, a miserable sound sounded. Without time to make any struggle and resistance, it was destroyed like this, both body and spirit. The entire world is now surrounded by this barren black airflow, and even the Xian attack brewing in Yunyun's hands is stagnant in the air at this time, as if it has temporarily lost its target and is stagnant. Yunyun's brewing attack is powerful, but now she only has the power of a single blow. If this blow does not completely disintegrate the Holy Spirit King, waiting for their ending will still be a dead end. I'll help you. Immediately, Chang'e rose up from the Moon Creek under the crown, forming a confrontation with Yunyun, and her eyes were constantly searching for the true body of the Holy Spirit King in this cracked earth. The army is back on defense. Although they don't know how to guard against this inexplicable power, at this moment, Ueru and the others can only focus on Yunyan and Uxi. What they can do now is to protect the creatures in the heavens and reduce unnecessary casualties as much as possible. The entire sky is empty, filled with the extremely rich smell of gunpowder, and the battle situation will ignite at the slightest. Bang bang bang. As soon as they pushed back, Yun and Uxi's pretty faces became solemn. It seems that no matter how powerful their attacks are, they are all annihilated in the barren black air, and the most important thing is that after crushing the black seeds, the breath and figure of the Holy Spirit King completely dissipated in their perception. As if the latter is the barren black gas, and the barren black gas is her? But there are almost countless barren black chi in the cracked earth. With Yun's attack, it is impossible to completely obliterate and purify all the aura. No, she is not desolate and black, but disguised herself in it. The divine sword was swung again, a harsh humming sound resounded through the heavens and the earth, monstrous energy swept out, and Yun vaguely heard faint sounds from the void where the two collided. The brilliance of the moon god. Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor Sword, / Two cold voices resounded again, with waves of ancient vastness sweeping across the world, converging towards the black air under the crack. Boom! The two attacks were fierce, and under the deliberate control of the two, they actually attacked some strange places in the black. Crack! The two attacks seemed to hit some rigid object, and the sound of broken bones swept out. How did you find my true body? At this moment, the body was severely injured, and an unbelievable look emerged from the cold and pretty face of the Holy Spirit King. The blood spewed out uncontrollably, and the vitality in the body was completely dissipated by the cooperation of the two. Holy Spirit King. The two evil kings and the evil army behind him watched the Holy Spirit King in such a situation, and suddenly lost their voices, forcibly broke free from the siege of other powerhouses, and swept his position. Tear! Go! Dark black clouds rose from the sky and the earth, and the army of the other party fled here completely, although the price was the lives of almost all the evil army and the two evil kings. Moreover, the purpose and ambition of this so-called Holy Spirit King seems to be more than just trying to rule the heavens. Unfortunately, she has always underestimated the determination of Yun and others to protect the heavens to the death, so this time the evil coalition attacking the heavens, which is a heavy loss. The catastrophe of the heavenly realm ended like this. After this, the heavenly realm, which had been severely damaged in vitality, really stood up after this catastrophe. After all, with the help of the Endless Flame Alliance pill resources, the growth rate was also staggering. Heaven was actually escaped by this powerful saint. Seeing the ending scene in the heavenly secret realm, Xiaoyan also nodded thoughtfully. It seems that the so-called powerful saints are in control of the demigod-level fighting skills, and there are even more terrifying existences than this. Although he escaped, but he was seriously injured because of it, he can be killed easily the next time we meet. The Spirit-Swallowing King smiled and said, the fact that several forces of the Endless Flame Alliance have won one after another is really heartwarming. The Demon World. I'm afraid it's the most important thing in this catastrophe. I hope nothing will happen. The Lord of the Sword region nodded in agreement, but he still had a lot of concerns in his heart. The Demon World. The King of all beasts, the Demon Emperor and the great powers of Xuanyi. Xiaoyan nodded slowly, with a solemn expression on his face. Obviously, this is the realm that is the most worrying. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2718. The catastrophe of the heavenly realm is slowly falling, and Xiaoyan is also secretly contacting many inheritors of the Endless Flame Alliance through holy flames. The picture of the heavenly mystery realm slowly turned, and at this time, it reached the last territory of the Endless Flame Alliance. Demon World. From ancient times to the present, the Demon World has always been filled with endless mysteries. After all, this is the place where countless creatures in the vast world have spent their entire lives cultivating and trying to ascend. Only when you step into the Demon World can you be free from the disputes in the human world. Although the Demon World is also a place where strength is respected, this does not hinder its lofty status among countless living beings. And the Big Demon World has always respected the only rule of strength. However, this rule only applies to the battle between the monsters. If other forces from outside the realm get involved, I am afraid it will cause strong resistance from the entire demon world. The center of the demon world. Originally, the center of the demon world was a place where many monsters yearn for. After all, the monsters who can enter the center of the demon world are all the best among the monster beasts. The original peaceful center of the demon world is now full of messes and corpses. And vague bloodstains, scattered randomly on many temples, added a very strong stroke here, making the atmosphere of the entire space look extremely miserable. In the center of the demon world, the evil coalition forces under the leadership of the two kings and the two saints from outside the territory attacked together. The tragic situation here is particularly shocking. However, although the forces sent from outside the territory to attack the demon world are very large, the large demon world is not a vegetarian. In just a few days after the outbreak of the war between the two sides, many powerhouses in the center of the demon world rose up to resist, and suddenly an unprecedented fierce battle broke out with the foreign coalition forces. The extraterritorial coalition forces, who had won the ticket, had to find another way under the desperate resistance of the demon world. They tried to take the lead in capturing the center of the demon world, shocking the monsters with the prestige of obliterating the leaders of the demon world, and completing the erosion of the demon world. Feat. During those few days of battle, even if the beasts in the demon world are so desperate, even if they lose to the opponent, they will pull one or two evil powerhouses stronger than themselves to self-destruct. So under such battles, the number of losses of the coalition forces of the four evil clans is actually even greater than that of the monsters in the demon world. The Tomb of the Monsters. This is an ancient region that is well known in the entire monster world, and it is also a place that is regarded as a sacred place by countless monsters. The main reason for this is that there are many overlord monsters, corpses and inheritances in the tomb here sleeping peacefully. The huge mountain cemetery has a vast territory, and even countless mysterious and ancient prohibitions fill the air, making it the highest holy place in the center of the entire demon world. The tombs of the demons, which used to be dead silent in the past, are now very lively, and many figures gathered from all directions are staring at the core tomb of this world with anger in their eyes. In the depths of that core tomb, there are several terrifying breaths bursting out of the sky, making people feel dizzy when they feel it a little. At this time, some familiar figures also arrived here one after another. Lord Kalen, the World Master and others, in order to prevent the foreign army from completely obliterating the powerful people in the center of the demon world, they suddenly risked themselves and lured them into the group of demon tombs by themselves with the strength of a few people. A group of figures slowly stood at the entrance of the tomb in the territory of the tomb of the group of demons. Looking at this dark tomb that seemed to have survived from ancient times, the nine-tailed demon fox Qingluan and the black dragon wolf in the crowd had solemn expressions and couldn't help it. Opened his mouth. There are no world masters and others in the center of the demon world today. Although the battle situation has stabilized, the army of monster beasts is in chaos. At the time of the crisis, fortunately Kalen led the Endless Flame Alliance reinforcements to arrive in time, and the crisis situation will be overturned just now. Save it back. The leader of the royal family who stayed behind to attack the center of the demon world has fallen into my hands. In this way, there should be a royal strongman and two saints strong. With the power of the Realm Master Xueni and the Vice Realm Master Yaodi currently around the 8th-fold reincarnation level, the power of those two saints' powerhouses should not be enough to make them so intimidated. A icy arc flashed in Kalen's pupils, and when he looked into the distance, he was unable to capture the specific aura at the core of the tomb of the group of demons. It seemed that there was a very powerful force in this tomb, isolating her exploration. The last thing I saw, the remaining three evil powerhouses chased down the World Master and others, and entered the tomb of the group of demons. The Heisha Dragon Wolf spoke again, his voice full of impatience. This area is a bit weird, Emperor Longshui Wu. You lead our reinforcements and demon world powerhouses to guard this place and besiege the remaining evil coalition forces. Without the leadership of the royal commander, this group of evil coalition forces would be vulnerable. Without my order, no one is allowed to step into the tombs of the demons. Those who violate the order will be killed without mercy. Kalen's icy voice resounded in the minds of the strong men behind, and the enormous pressure of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python made everyone have to stay here. Kaylin also had some concerns in her heart. After all, her strength at the half-step 8-fold reincarnation rank is a little tricky. The group of powerhouses behind her, who have not even reached the 7th-fold reincarnation rank, enter the tomb together, but it is only self-destruction. Yes! As soon as the words fell, everyone joined forces outside the tomb to arrange the next magnificent formations, and they continued to surround and kill the eroded evil coalition forces. For a time, the scene in the territory of the tombs of the monsters was extremely spectacular. Several adults, the monsters in the demon world are different from humans. With the support of the powerhouses in the endless fire domain, our losses are really serious. If this continues, our coalition will be completely defeated here. Not far from the tomb of the group of demons, next to a place towering into the clouds, a dignified evil shadow powerhouse looked at the dwindling evil coalition forces below, and felt anxious in his heart. Once upon a time, the 4 kings led the evil coalition and crushed many powerhouses in the demon world with an overwhelming advantage. However, under the strange remarks of the Demon World Master and the Deputy World Master, the remaining 3 kings completely ignored the current battle situation. Directly followed the latter and stepped into the tomb of the demons. It seems that the Demon World Masters have thrown out very tempting bargaining chips. The evil coalition in the rear was led by only a king commander to capture the demon world, and the remaining royal commander and 2 powerful saints chased away together. Now, I can only hope that a few adults will kill the Demon World Master as soon as possible. At that time, we will be able to take the initiative in the situation again. In the shadows, there is no choice but to plan like this. But if this is consumed like this, the heritage of the 2 great royal families and the 2 great saints will probably be exhausted here. At all costs, the current offensive must be maintained. Even if there are many doubts, the remaining evil powerhouses can only do this under the resistance of the allied forces of the demon world. Kill me! The roaring killing intent from all over the sky emerged, and the entire center of the demon world staged scenes of life and death killings. But no matter how large the number of evil coalition forces poured out of the black hole vortex, the many monsters in the center of the demon world did not flinch at all. Taking a step back is the homeland of the demon world. For the homeland, to be loved and loved, we have to fight, because home is here. Please remember this book's first domain name. Mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2719. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. The area of the tombs of the monsters is extremely mysterious. There are huge undulating cemeteries here. There are endless cemeteries of various monsters. Occasionally, some ancient coercion will tilt out of the cemetery of monsters, which will suddenly cause a lot of damage in this world. A burst of caves. However, the most important thing in this area is the cave cemetery at the core, where is the core of the entire group of demon tombs. The huge flat area, at this time, one after another violent energy emerged, and the fluctuations in it were shocking. The 2 armies had completely fought together, and the sound of burning, killing and looting was endless, and the offensive was monstrous. The energy fluctuations scattered everywhere in the sky and the earth, and the terrifying destructive power produced was frightening. And with the protection of the Demon World Army and the endless Flame Alliance reinforcements, the whole situation has gradually become stable. As long as the remaining 3 evil powerhouses do not take action, the catastrophe in the demon world will be subsided. Under such a situation, Kalen also slowly summoned the 10-colored snake spirit to crawl in front of him, and walk towards the core cave cemetery step by step. Judging by the induction, the 3 evil powerhouses, the World Master and others existing in it, obviously at this moment, the battle in the cave cemetery at the core is the most important thing related to the changes in the entire demon world. At this time, many changes had already taken place in the cave cemetery. The cave passage is dark and deep, like a bottomless pit. The walls are surrounded by countless ancient patterns, which contain hidden powers. If the strength is weak and the mind is not firm, it is easy to completely get lost in it, but there are 10 colors. Guided by the strength of the swallowing python, Kalen was speechless all the way, and even the 10-color swallowing python had a faint sense of familiarity. It seems to have been here before. There is a very empty area in the depths of the cave, and one of the magnificent palaces with unusual style stands towering and inlaid here. The splendid palace gate seems to be sunken into the cave wall, and you can vaguely perceive the ancient fluctuations of the years above the gate. This huge palace built into the wall is like a loyal servant, forever standing here, as if guarding something. At this time, on the flat open space before the palace, several figures with different breaths gathered here. Their eyes were a little hot, and they stared at the palace gate greedily. Because behind this gate, it is very likely that it is the resting place of the strongest connecting to the Japanese demon world. If they can step into it, it will be a great help for them. After all, the only people who can inhabit the core cemetery are the king of all beasts, the 10-color swallowing python and other super monsters. Boom! The silence did not last long, and a burly man in the crowd surging, punched and kicked, and violent battle fluctuations broke out here. Ha ha ha! Happy, as expected of the legendary demon emperor in the demon world. But why don't you use the power of the divine path? In one blow, a sound of laughter emerged from the ground, but the source of the sound was unharmed, and the person who fought with it was covered in scars and was already on the verge of death. The two are the demon emperor, the deputy world lord, in the center of the demon world, and one of the three evil powerhouses who was lured into the cave cemetery by him. God! Are you all right? Seeing this scene, the corners of Qian Ying's lips beside the demon emperor clenched tightly, and hurried to the demon emperor's side to support the latter, looking at the demon emperor very worriedly. The 6 purple sacred wings behind Qian Ying also began to twist slowly, and a palpitating divine power swept out. The demon emperor's lover, Lu Yun, after obtaining the demon emperor's continuous collection of the power of angels, helped her to completely stabilize her power, and even made the latter's power break through to the level of a 6-winged purple angel, and her strength has also reached the peak of the 5-layer reincarnation. With the angel wings, the combat power is also in existence that cannot be ignored. Quote. A miserable smile slowly emerged from the corner of the demon emperor's mouth, as if he didn't want Lu Yun to worry, but the weakness conveyed from his body had already surfaced on his pale face, and even the demon spear beside him was buzzing. After several fights before and after, the demon emperor is also clear that this saint race powerhouse in front of him is definitely a very strong opponent. The power attribute of the magic mirror in this guy's hand is a bit weird. It seems that all the attacks I use will be easily copied by him, and the tricks he copied are even more powerful than when I used them. The sky-splitting demon spear beside him slowly supported the demon emperor's body, looking at the other party with some vigilance. During the time when the two were fighting, the demon emperor tried to crush the latter with absolute power, but no matter how powerful he was, it would be copied by the magic mirror in his hand and turn to attack him. In order to prevent the other party from duplicating the power of the divine path, the demon emperor did not use the power of the divine path. However, the demon emperor who did not use the power of the divine path, with the current quasi-8th level reincarnation strength and the blessing of the heavenly splitting demon spear, was simply unable to defeat the 8th-level reincarnation rank of the heavenly magic demon Venerable. Long-term passive defense resulted in scars on his body. No, I don't have full confidence. I can't use the power of the gods and the power of angels. The next moment, watching the angel's wings fluttering behind the people around him, a sacred burning sensation swept out, and the demon emperor instantly stopped Lu Yun's actions. If the power of the divine way and the power of angels are copied by the other party, then the Great Thousand World will probably face a very serious crisis. Although the possibility is extremely small, it is not a last resort. Here, there is a royal strong man dormant at the door of the magnificent palace, waiting for an opportunity. On the other side, Xuanyi was at a stalemate with another evil figure. The latter's eyes were slightly lowered, as if he had cultivated into meditation. In such a sacred and peaceful place, the evil aura around him seemed out of tune with his actions. These guys, haunted souls. Boundary Lord Xuanyi looked at the 3 evil figures in front of him and snorted immediately. However, Zhang Yi still felt a little nervous in his heart. After all, their purpose today is related to the safety of the entire demon world. Whether he can lure a few people into the palace in front of him, and how can he resolve the current deadlock in the demon world? The strength of him and the demon emperor has only just stepped into the 8th-fold reincarnation rank and the quasi-8th-fold reincarnation rank. When dealing with the 3 opponents, the pressure is doubled. After all, the 3 opponents, except for the quasi-8th layer reincarnation rank, the royal commander who is head-to-head, the strength of the other two saint race powerhouses, the heavenly magic demon Venerable Eightfold Reincarnation rank, and the other invisible figure, whose strength has vaguely reached the peak of the Eightfold Reincarnation rank. Such a terrifying lineup is enough to sweep across the entire demon world. For a time, the heavy responsibility of the demon world's safety is like a huge mountain pressing on their hearts. However, although their plans are rigorous, the other party is obviously not a complete idiot, so they are stagnant before the cemetery palace. They also seem to have discovered the endless murderous intention hidden here. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click Favorites below to record the reading record of this time. Chapter 2735, The Demon World of the Thousand Catastrophe, 2, and you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.